All right, so we are going to continue to talk about data, but we are focused today on what we call mean, absolute, deviation. So these three words actually have their own meaning. So you already all know that mean means the average of a data set. You guys already all know that absolute talks about absolute value or the positive value of numbers. And the one word that might be a little new is the word deviation. So when we do this, we'll kind of break down what these three words are, and also the fact that we a lot of times call this find the mad, or we take the first letter of each of those words and we use those in our directions. So starting out with how to find mean, absolute, deviation, we're going to look at find the mad of 2, 3, 3, 5, and 7. I will say these charts that you're going to see in your notes and on your check are extremely helpful for not forgetting the steps. This is a very step-by-step process, and if you follow the steps, you should be fine in doing this. So step 1, find the mean of the given data set. So in this data set, you can see, and I'm going to use a lot of highlighting, that we have put those numbers in this chart for you. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, which is hilarious that that has a typo. So I'm going to go up here and change it. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. We'll actually make sure these numbers are right. So when you do that, you're going to put that data in, you're going to find the mean. So let's do some checking since we have a number that's changed. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14, and 5 plus, so actually, let's do this the other way around. I'm actually going to leave those the way they are. Sorry if this is confusing. I'm going to go down into this data set, and I'm going to change this 4 to a 3. So go ahead and change that in your notes, that 4 to a 3, because that makes it a nicer number for me to explain this. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Plus 3 is 8, plus 5 is 13, plus 7 is 20. And there are 5 numbers in this data set, so 20 divided by 5 is 4. That is your mean. We've been doing that for 2 days, so we are going to take that, and I'm going to use this. Step 2, you're going to fill in the chart. Each data point goes in one box in the first column, and the mean from step 1 goes in the second. So here's our mean, going all the way down this column. What we are going to do in step 3 is we are going to subtract the numbers. Simple subtraction and find the difference. So 2 minus 4 is technically negative 2, but we are finding the absolute difference. So I want you to write that word in. How is that? Well, because you're going to use the positive value. So 2 minus 4 is equal to negative 2. But when we find the absolute difference, we get a positive 2. 3 minus 4 is technically negative 1. But we're going to leave the absolute value, so it's a positive 1. Here's where this gets a little different because of this typo. 3 minus 4, not 0, it's negative 1, but we're going to change it to a positive 1. 5 minus 4 is positive 1, so we didn't even have to take its absolute. And 7 minus 4 is 3, positive 3. So this is going to change here down at the bottom, but that's okay. So then we're going to follow the chart in steps, the next set of steps. So set up all the differences. We did that. And then we're going to add them all up in step number 4. So change this word, add up all the differences. Add up all the differences. So when we add those, we get that sum. So we're going to do that right now. So we're adding up the green column. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Change that number to 8. Step number 5, you're going to divide by the amount of numbers. Divide by the amount of numbers. Step number 5, So there are 5 numbers in our data set, so we're going to leave that one alone. And then we are going to, step 6, place the answer for the absolute mean deviation. So one thing that's going to change right here is this 7 is going to become an 8. It's still going to say divided by 5. So we are going to do 8 divided by 5. Goes in 1 time. Bring a 0 down. Goes in 6. So this changes our mean absolute deviation right here. Instead of 1.4, it's going to be 1.6. You can see by that one little error in numbering that changed a few of our answers. So I'm going to go through this again, and I'll probably talk through it one more time. Step number 1, and I'm going to use my highlight so it all matches up. We're going to find the mean of the given data. So I'm going to write that in as we go. So I'm going to write in that data point, 8, 1, 9, 1, 6, and I'm going to find the mean of that data. When I do that, I'm adding up. 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, 18 plus 1 is 19, and 19 plus 6 is 25. I'm going to divide that by the number in the set, which is 5, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. And I am doing this right now in step 2 as I'm putting all these numbers in. 5 all the way down this column because it is the mean of all those numbers of 8, 1, 9, and 6. Now I'm moving on to step number 3. We're going to do the subtraction with the absolute difference. So 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 1 is negative 4, but I'm finding the absolute difference, which is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus 5 is negative 4, but I'm finding its absolute difference, so it's positive 4. And 6 minus 5 is 1. Now that I have the differences all figured out in this last column, I'm going to add them up for step 4. So change this word, add up all the differences in step number 4. And we're going to put that sum right there. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. And 15 plus 1 is 16. We're going to divide by however many numbers are in the set for step 5. And we're going to put it right here. So that is 5. And then step 6, find the answer for the mean absolute deviation and put it in this box right here. So we have 16 divided by 5 gives us 3. With 1 left over, 5 goes into 10 twice. So I get 3.2. I know that this is a lot of steps, which is why you have quite a bit for your check today. It's a very repetitive process. Step 1, write that data right in that data column. Step 2, you're going to find the mean and fill that in the data column. That mean should always be the same value going all the way down. The trickiest part is remembering that in step 3, when you do the subtracting, you have to find the absolute difference of all of those numbers. So that value should always be positive, even if when you subtracted it, we came out negative. Step 4, you're going to add those all up where it says sum. Step 5, you're going to divide by however many are in the data set. So in this case, 5 for both of these examples. And then you're going to get your mean absolute deviation by doing the sum divided by the numbers gives you your mean absolute deviation. So all in all, you're really finding the mean of the data twice, okay? You're finding it once from the original and once from the absolute difference or the absolute deviation. So deviation, difference, absolute value or positive value, and mean is the average. All right, so if you need to watch this again, watch it again, and then you can go on and you're going to do problems 1 through 7 with 6 of them having these charts, and then number 7 doesn't, but you can always draw your own. Okay, so like I said, go and watch this video. You may need to watch it twice.